All right. Well, we are having a distinct opportunity to speak with a acclaimed women's soccer player here today, Simon, on Two Up Front. Adriana Leon joins us all the way from the great state of New York, as she is here now to chat with us. She's a Canadian international, and she is now the newest addition to Western New York Flash of the NWSL as well. Adriana, welcome to Two Up Front, and thank you for taking some time today with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. We are excited to have you on the show, and as Simon mentioned to you probably a little bit off the air, we are trying to build our identity here about the NWSL and so many other exciting things going around women's soccer, and you're a bit of a veteran of the NWSL also, and I'm curious if you can explain a little bit about how the league has kind of changed since you've been around.
Yeah, I don't know if I think of myself as a veteran. I'm only 23, but I did jump into the league when I was 20. I left the University of Florida early to play in the league, so I definitely can say I've witnessed the growth in the last 3 years. Now we're seeing women come over from overseas and leaving their teams there to play here, and that's great. And even girls coming out of college are wanting to play right after they graduate. So, yes, definitely the league is growing, and I think it's becoming more competitive for sure.
You speak about competitive nature as well. I don't know if you've heard the news or not, but the Portland Thorns actually just signed one of France's best players today as well, Henry. And you talk about bringing high-quality players over. That's, I think, another case in point right there of having another, what we would call an elite player, basically, coming over now to the NWSL.
Yeah, it's great for the league, and I don't think I'm wrong when I'm saying the NWSL is the most competitive women's league in the world.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Well, you speak about competitiveness as well. As you mentioned, you don't necessarily consider yourself a veteran, but you've been around the league long enough, though, to know how the ropes are going and everything. But you spent your first few seasons in the Chicago area as part of the Red Stars and a part of that team that finished second in the league last year, and really, I think, kind of took some people by surprise last year as well, at least for those that maybe weren't following the Chicago soccer scene so much. But now you find yourself in New York, and a little bit of a different scenery for you. How did you feel when you found out that you would not be in Chicago for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I found out last November, and if I'm being honest, I was the one who initiated the trade for personal reasons.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a time for a fresh start, and I couldn't be more excited for this coming season with the Flash.
Awesome. Well, of course, we're talking with Adriana Leon here on Two Up Front Soccer. You've spent time in the NWSL, but we can't overlook what I'm assuming for you is one of the greatest honors you've had in your life, and that's playing for Canada in the World Cup in Canada on top of that. So I'm wondering if you can speak about that experience a bit.
Yeah, this past summer was an amazing experience. I always think about the game against the Netherlands, playing in Montreal, and lining up for the starting 11 and hearing the FIFA anthem, walking out. Hear the crowds going nuts, and then our anthem comes on, and the arena just lights up. And there's nothing like singing your national anthem with the rest of your country, and seeing the sea of red and white, Canadian flags out in the crowd. It was just amazing, and it's just an experience I'll never forget.
And something like that, too, being a part of the World Cup, and we've heard from other World Cup veterans, whether it be men or female, honestly, it's like you mentioned, though, it's that anytime you get a chance to play basically a home game, I know it was a World Cup tournament, but it was a home game for you guys, basically, in front of your home nation. That really is a feeling that you can never, take back, and especially the whole fact when the entire stadium singing the national anthem alongside you as well. So it really seems like a special moment. And I know the tournament didn't maybe go as well as you guys had hoped it would. Obviously, an early exit, then I think a lot of you, they're experts and just followers of the sport as well. I understand you guys ended up losing 2-1 in that knockout round game, but can you kind of maybe shed a little bit more light on what kind of either A, went wrong, or B, just wasn't working for you guys towards the end there?
Yeah, the game against England, we made a lot of silly mistakes from the start of the game and all the way through to the end. And, the difference was we just couldn't find a way to score. And, I don't know, I think there's tons of things I would have done differently, and I'm sure a lot of my teammates feel the same, but you win some, you lose some. That's the sport.
Do you think because it was in your home nation, it hurt a little bit more, or just? Obviously losing any World Cup game, especially in a knockout round, hurts, but I think being in front of the home fans maybe played a little bit extra in that at all?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely felt it, and I think because we were at home, the fans felt it too. Maybe more so than we did. So, yeah, we definitely did.
And yet, at the same time, the positive that comes out of it for anybody who's a fan of women's soccer is how the international game has improved. 10 years ago, England was not a team that was really a threat.
No, not at all.
And now you look at them, they're one of the top, very much in the top 10, arguably in the top 5 in the world. And you're going to be facing possibly other teams this summer. Do you any word on, Canada's heading to the Olympics, which is awesome. Any word on your spot on that roster?
To be honest, I really have no idea what's going on with Canada at the moment. I'm just focused on getting the job done here in Western New York and bringing home an NWSL championship. So, the rest is out of my control.
And that's all you can do. Yeah, you're filling some fairly big boots there as well for Western New York. Folks here, at least in the United States, will remember a gal by the name of Abby Wambach played for the team 2 seasons ago, and last season, obviously, she was off and then focused on the World Cup, and now you step in as one of the more notable names on the roster. Even though, as you said, you don't consider yourself a veteran of the league, but in a sense you still are because you're a fairly recognizable name across all spectrums, at least in the United States and Canada. So are you going to try to take a little bit of an extra leadership role on the team this year, or are there other ladies that you think will step up and use their experience that are maybe a couple years older than you?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some amazing players that have played for the Flash, like Alex Morgan, Christine Sinclair, Marta, Abby Wambach, like you said. And there are definitely some big shoes to fill. And I think, going into this season, I'm going to be the best leader I can be. And I'm sure all the other girls feel the same. So we'll do our best.
Adriana, before we went on air, you and I had a quick conversation about how you were a two-sport athlete. And I know you got to get going here. There was hockey, there was soccer. You played both. You were great at both. Why soccer?
I think at the time, I made the decision when I was a senior in high school, and at the time there was just more opportunity for women's soccer. And, I don't think I went wrong with my decision.
Not at all.
I'm happy where I'm at, but it's great also to see now that women's hockey is growing, and it's tremendously grown in the last couple of years. So that's amazing.
Well, fantastic. Well, Adriana, it has been a pleasure to speak with you today. Sorry a little bit about the technical issues on our end to begin, but we are excited that we at least got a couple minutes of your time, and we hope that maybe
that's okay.
hope maybe mid-season or something or later on we can have you back on for a little bit more in-depth and just kind of check in and see how things are going with you.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to have a catch-up.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Adriana Leone here on 2 Up Front this afternoon. We are going to take a break and come back and continue to chat about Major League Soccer, and I think Simon and I have some predictions as well for this upcoming weekend. You're listening to 2 Up Front, presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go